Hey friends, it's Charles here. As I mentioned in the previous video, this is going to be a restart and reset of my Chronic Crippled Collector YouTube channel, where I just want to share my everyday ups and downs and realistic tips to survive chronic pain and disability. And I figured what better way to start than with how I start every day, my morning workout routine. Now I'm going to be real with you. Look at me. I'm fat. I'm cool with it. By any standard, I am out of shape. But the last few years, I have made great strides in my health. I reversed my diabetes and corrected a lot of issues I had developed from chronic pain, and that is from my 6-day-a-week workouts. It started off with a couple of 20-pound dumbbells. I eventually bought more, and I have up to 40-pound dumbbells, and I work out 6 days a week, and I developed a routine around my energy. Now, this is not going to be a step-by-step tutorial on working out. What this is just me talking to you a little bit in between sets while I do my workout and getting you a little bit of insight into my life and my personal experience. I remember when I first started, I got a lot of discouragement because people were like, well, you have a leg injury, you can't work a leg, so why work at all? Well, you can't do cardio, so why do this? And it's like, as disabled people, we are expected to check so many boxes. We are expected to be helpless. We're expected not to have fun. We are expected not to work out and celebrate what we can do and what we do have. And these daily workouts not only reverse my diabetes, and I have dropped pounds. I have become a physically healthier person, but it's mostly helped my mental health. Let's see, today we're going to be working with some 35s, got some 15s, and I have some 10s. It's shoulder day, so I'm doing shoulder presses. Now, after my injury, I got injured around the age of 29, 30. The first feeling that hit me was emasculation. Just a little background on me. I was never coordinated enough to be an athlete. But what did save my mental health in high school was weightlifting. Fortunately, you don't have to be too coordinated to be successful at weightlifting. If you can pick up something and move it around, you're done. And it's something that I excelled at. I got very strong physically. I got more confident. And throughout my life, when I'd have these crises of confidence, I always found that confidence in the gym. And I remember after I got declared maximum medical improvement, which means that essentially your doctors give up on actually trying to get you better and they focus more on maintaining what you have. I fell into a deep depression instantly, and I returned to what my comfort was, and that was the weights. And let's see, let's get another set in. There we go. One more set with those. But I tried to return to a gym that I was a member of before. And I remember, like it was yesterday, I walked in, I looked at all the equipment, and at first I was excited because I knew what I could do a few years earlier. But then I started trying to think, how am I going to load up my bench press when I need a cane? How am I going to get the big dumbbells to curl with? How am I going to... And I ended up kind of doing a few minutes on the stationary bike and just kind of left and gave up on myself physically and mentally. And that was the beginning of, my descent into depression. Deep clinical depression, which I still do therapy for, and I depend on antidepressants. There's no shame in that at all. But over the next, I would say, decade, my health, both mental and physical, they went into the shitter. It was bad. And it got to a point where I was sleeping maybe 2 hours a night and just completely secluded myself. The only joy I had was in the rare opportunity I had to play music. Music saved my life. I was only able to play 3 to 4 times a month, but if it wasn't for music, I wouldn't be here. And it kept me plugged in, but I was still struggling and suffering until I found counseling and until I started to develop a love for myself. And let's get this last set of presses out of the way. One. Whew. But where was I at? Oh yeah, I guess I gave up on myself, and fortunately, I had a mother who wouldn't give up on me. But when she passed away, I lost my entire support system, and I really started to lean into hobbies that gave me something to look forward to that I could do regardless of mobility. That's how I got into collecting action figures, which led to collecting comics. And my starting points with action figures was professional wrestling because I've always been a big professional wrestling fan. And one very popular professional wrestling commentator is named Simon Miller. He works for What Culture, and he's a big buff guy. He's actually a professional wrestler as well. And he is so positive about lifting weights and about the love of fitness. And he always said in almost every video, the gym is for everybody. It doesn't matter if you're fat, skinny, short, tall, the gym is for everybody. And as I was watching this content, it was like it went from a point of me being intimidated by lifting weights to where my mindset was like, well, hell, why am I not lifting weights? And so I started to think practically. I couldn't get to a gym daily because that would waste a lot of the limited mobility I do have. So what could I do? Well, I could buy my own dumbbells. I could buy my own workbench. I could start small. I could find out what I can do. I can't do leg stuff. I couldn't do a lot of core stuff at the time. I was starting from a place of below zero because I did nothing for myself health wise. And so I started out with just the basics. For my chest, I would do bench press and maybe some butterflies and some tricep extensions, call it a day. Biceps, I would do curls. I would maybe do preacher curls. I would do some rows and what else? How else would I break it down? Yeah, shoulder days, shoulder presses, of course, side lifts, so on and so forth. But as I developed more strength, I was able to extend my workouts to doing more advanced workouts, not just doing 1 or 2 lifts per day, but really focusing in and finding alternate ways to engage the muscle I had. And once I engaged my upper body, my core started to get stronger. So I was able to add deadlifts, leg lifts. I'm able to do unweighted leg work right now. And starting from the bicep, I built strength going all throughout my body, all the way down through my core. Starting with the chest and triceps, I was able to build strength all throughout my body, all throughout my core. Starting with the little parts I could do, it led to bigger things to where now my workouts, usually I would have been done by now 3 years ago, but now I am just getting started. Doing some raises here with the 35. I'm not going to count. I'm just going to go until I get reasonably tired. But I mean, as you can see, even though I am heavy set, I have some good sized shoulders going on. My chest is getting out a little bit. My arms getting a little bit bigger. And a lot of people wouldn't be happy with those results. But you know what? I'm a lot stronger and better person than I was yesterday. So I'm over the moon about my results. My results don't have to be your results. Yes, I am addicted to Diet Mountain Dew. I used to be addicted to a lot worse stuff. But back to the topic at hand, it was like I would do these little things that would lead to bigger things, and I was able to apply that to the rest of my life. Like I said, music is very important to me, Well, on high pain days, I can't sit behind a guitar and adjust my amplifier. I can't play a big bass. I can't sit behind a drum set. And so I started thinking, how can I bring music every day into my life? Well, you know what's almost like a guitar, but not so heavy, and you can keep it anywhere? A ukulele. I also bought myself a recorder, the little instrument that you played in elementary school. I have a melodica, and I keep these smaller instruments within reach of anywhere I'm going to be in my home. That way, music is always within reach. And on good days, I pick up my bass, I pick up my guitar, I plug in my keyboard. But on bad days, I have these other smaller instruments that I can do anytime. Again, with the weightlifting, I don't have to go to a gym. On my worst day, I can crawl to my living room, to my floor, and get to work with my dumbbells. Woo. And you don't even have to have dumbbells. We all have things like if you drink milk, you could fill up a gallon container with water and do some of these exercises I'm doing right now. And the cool thing about that is you can adjust the water level almost like weights. So you can adjust it to what you do. I think the important thing is to engage the muscle, get a little bit of heavy breathing, get a little bit of sweat going, and that's going to pick up your metabolism. It's going to engage those muscles, and you're going to get, like I said, some confidence that you can apply to the rest of your life. And the fact of the matter is like right now, I can push myself up off this floor without any concern or preparation. I couldn't do that 3 years ago. So it also helps you out practically, as well as a disabled person getting more freedom. And I think that is a very, very important thing is, as disabled people, we give up so much freedom, it feels like, because we depend on others, either government assistance, more assistance from friends and family. But, you can build up some upper body strength to compensate for the loss of lower limbs if you're like me, or vice versa. There are a couple of women I follow on Instagram who don't have arms, who are more agile and dexterous with their feet than I could ever be with my hands. And so I would encourage you not to be discouraged, to work on what you have, master what you have, be the absolute best with what you have, and build up your confidence that way, and love yourself where you are for who you are, and appreciate whatever the fuck you build. Like I said, I'm not hiding. I'm a fat man. I'm up over 300. But you know what? Like I said, I got my muscle shoulders. I got my practical mobility. And I can do all kinds of things I couldn't do a few years ago. And it gives me something to get out of bed for on days when I just feel, like I'm not adding anything to society or bettering myself. So yeah, we had some presses in. I'm not going to do a full workout. Like I said, this isn't a workout video. It's just talking while I do a little bit of what I do. See, I'll grab the 10-pound dumbbells. We're going to do some extensions, some lateral raises. And you don't need a lot of weight. You see a lot of guys, big bodybuilder guys, doing the same exercise with 10, 15, 20-pound weights because it's a smaller muscle group. And you'll end up tearing something if you go too heavy on it. And I think that's another lesson, too, we can add is, as disabled people, we have to listen to our bodies. On high pain days, my workouts are shorter. On low pain days, I like to go heavier. I like to go harder. But I always listen to my body, and when things get too heavy, when I feel that certain bad pain, I pump the brakes. Anyway, it's been about 15 minutes, and we're going to be having a lot more of these conversations, and I hope that you guys can get to know me and I can become your disabled friend, your chronic pain friend. And when I say that, I'm not just talking shit. We can, if you're going through it, you can hit me up in the comments. We can shoot the shit back and forth via Instagram, Reddit. I just want you guys to know that I understand you, I get you, and if I can do this, you can do this. Also, I want to encourage you as well to check out my other channel, Old Nerd Reviews WY, Old Nerd Reviews Wyoming. A lot of people, they see it as a frivolous channel because I talk about comic books, professional wrestling, and occasionally pop culture. But it's not frivolous to me because these are things that help me with my mental health struggles from chronic pain. And so collecting comics, collecting action figures, and communicating my love for pop culture is just as important part of my regime as the dumbbells and the antidepressants. So check that out, Old Nerd Reviews WY. You may find a comic book that you like. You may find an action figure that gets you into the hobby. Who knows? But you guys be easy. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.